Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. My name is Tahir Rechie. I'm a fellow of Royal Institute of Canada, broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc. Tonight, we have a topic of Ontario affordability housing initiatives by the Ontario government. It's my great pleasure to welcome my friend, member of Provincial Parliament, Sherry Sabavi, Mississauga Animals, to join us. MPP, welcome. Wonderful. So we're going to have a general conversation because the Ontario government started the fair housing plan, and they did a task force, and recently they increased speculation tax for Ontario-wise for 15 to 20%. So we're going to talk about the task force, why the task force was created. And can you tell us a little bit about task force? What was in the mind of Ontario government to create the task force and then solve the issues that we are facing by the consumers?
Well, it's not unknown. It's a very known problem we have, which is like a housing problem, and the prices of the houses which keep climbing, and now it's a rocket sky high now, and I think it's there's multiple factors in that. It's not one thing, and there's no one item would get solved, then the problem solved. It's going to be multiple aspects and multiple bills and multiple approaches to solve, or as you can say, calm down the market a little bit. And we know that. I mean, Ontario is growing rapidly. We are receiving newcomers every day. This year, the federal announced that they are expecting 400,000 new immigrants. So where's those immigrants? Most probably, if we are half of the population of Canada, we'll get half of those people if it's fairly divided. Usually we get a little bit more because Ontario is the go-to province for many reasons, economically, culturally, diversely. It's attract a lot of immigrants to Canada. So usually we get more than half of the immigrants. So we are getting between 200 to 300,000 of those to Ontario. So you
Yeah,
can imagine with this number, we already have an issue now with housing, where those 200, 300,000 people are going to be living.
yeah. So a couple of things come to mind. As you know, that the average price for from 2021 to 2022, so far March, has increased 18%, year over year. Okay, this is just an average based on Toronto Regional Real Estate Board data that we share with in our previous episode, because we have a member of federal parliament was she was there to explaining to our people. So we thought that we talk to you about prevention. So there are a couple of things. One is affordability. Number thing is the shortage of housing.
Supply.
Number three, escalation of prices. Then now mortgage rates are rising. Okay, and then we have there are a jurisdictional issue because some jurisdiction comes to the municipality, some jurisdiction come to Ontario, and then some jurisdiction come to the federal level, and there are multiple action happening on their behalf, and so is the provincial. So today's topic is what we as a province is doing and helping to ease that tension, because you mentioned about there were over 400,000 people coming to Canada, and more than 250,000 will be staying in GTA area, which is a big thing for us. So as a part of the task force, because I'm going to the root cause, because in order to solve a problem, you have to learn what's wrong with it
The root. Yeah.
in terms of, so there was five recommendation from the task force. From the chair was Jake Lawrence of Housing Affordability Task Force, and he wrote to Minister Clark. Okay, and the one was to more housing density across Ontario. So really, what do you mean? Why they want the density in terms of creating more housing?
Because of course the demand is very high, the supply is low. So if you are building a building which will have 80 apartments, that will host 80 families. If you're going to be using the space to build like 20 townhomes, then you basically only available for 20, only 20 families. So of course, by adding more density, it will mean that we have more units available. Okay, so it's more high density use of the lands available.
Yeah.
Okay, but not everyone like that. I mean, it's again the part of the recommendations for also condos and high density is because of the very high prices. Now the affordability or the majority average income family might not be able to afford even a standalone house, but it definitely will afford a condo much faster. I mean,
And also, the government is investing in transit infrastructure, so it will justify when you have more density in terms of going vertical instead of going horizontally. And obviously, if they're going to invest in transit, they're spending $1.6 billion in Mississauga to connect on Dundas and also Ontario. So I think it's justified that, and as you rightly said, that it will produce more. The other thing is when we are expediting the approval process. So basically, under the Planning Act, the municipality are the one they are processing the application, and they need to perform. So I noticed that Toronto was given some money to hire more people in planning and development department to expedite the approval process. Are you familiar with that? There's something
what
happening.
one of the biggest complaints from the developers that the cycle from the time they approach purchase the land and start putting the design and work with the site planners and the developer development plans and then getting it approved from the city, this cycle could take up to 2 to 3 years
Yeah.
to be able to start building and another maybe year to finish the building. So it's a cycle to get like in the product is almost like 4 years. And that's why we can see now many of the companies who already sold those condos or start selling those condos for an X amount of money after 4 years. Now it become like double the price. And the cost for them even to build it becomes so high that even if they sold it for that X amount, you lose money or like they're going to be difficult for them to sell it for that price. And that's why they're trying to find ways to break those contracts and do a new contract and stuff. So we protected the consumers. We did some changes so that they cannot do that. They can't break. Once you bought, you bought. So it's one thing. The other thing is we put some time limitation on how long the municipal can take to approve or give answer about the requests, the application. So within, I think it was like 1 month or 45 days, the fees will start going down every single day. Delay will mean that the fees they are collecting will go down. So they have to get to speed and get things done ASAP, like approving and processing the applications. That's why when they complained we don't have enough resources to do that, we basically said the government will pay money for you to get more resources. And again, like as I mentioned in my speaking in the parliament, it's difficult to say that I don't have enough resources when those fees sometimes it's like $8 million and $10 million fees to build to get an approval for a condo building. So they even if they can maybe get some outsourcing, they might get some outsourcing and get things done, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a part of the task force recommendation. One was that and exclusionary municipal rules that block or delay new policy housing. So,
Yes.
so they want to improve the municipal rules, and this is one of the difficulty that was explained. The other one was the depoliticizing the housing approval process, because remember when they are converting a single home, a lot, or let's assume it's an older home, it has a big lot, and they can justify it and change the official plan amendment to build as a complex
Complex or whatever.
complex, and it has to require public hearing and all that stuff. It's unnecessary delaying it. So they are saying is that appeal system need to be scrutinized and minimize that, because they don't want people to use political process to delay a project, and shortage of create shortage of housing.
Yes, it's actually now with the new changes, if the developer, after the period of time, is not satisfied or doesn't want to wait more or whatever, he can take it to the land tribunal and basically start pushing for an external body, which is the court system, to get the process going, enforcing the municipalities to take decisions.
And also, under the current program, anybody can complain about it. So now they're saying they're going to prevent abuse of the housing appeal system, because that, unless if any citizen, regardless of any interest or not, they can submit an application, and then going through the tribunal board and appealing process will delay the project.
Yes.
Now, and they're trying to eliminate that abuse, which is a good thing, because reason is they're going to need to transform the approval process and Ontario government and also municipality. So if they have identified this very critical thing, and if they can overcome that and make sure the builder who's asked for the building permit and site plan approval, rezoning, official plan amendment, or whatever, there are deadline and the people will follow it, and it's faster, so they don't have to spend time and money and drag the project. Because in
Yes.
construction, if you are building a detached home or semi, it takes maybe 3 years. But if you are building a high-rise vertical building, which may have a 2, 3, or 400 units, it will take maybe 5 years. Our problem of shortage of supply will continue even we improve the process today, which has not been done
Yes.
yet.
No, the bill already passed, so the bill
Yeah.
become in effect. So now this is the first time, put it this way, this is the first time there is any deadlines or limitation on time frames when applying for the municipal approvals. Before, the municipality can take any amount of time they want, a year and a half, 2 years. They can delay as much as they want. Now, it is mandatory that they give an answer, and they mandatory to move fast to give something back to the developers who are applying. So there, I think this is a very strong stand from our government to support more housing, to support the acceleration of the housing. As you can see, putting some restrictions on the appeal process and who can object and stuff can prevent a lot of unnecessary delays to get the housing off ground. So as you can see, this bill we did put together, housing for everyone, is basically taking those recommendations from the committee, and they are converting it to actions on the ground. And as you know, you are in the real estate market and you understand many of those hurdles. One big aspect of the price escalation is the shortage of supply. So when I go and see a house and I know that this is the only house I can find in this area of interest or criteria or whatever, and I will go and keep adding money and money and money and money because I don't want to lose opportunity. So I end up with a house which may be worth X amount, to end up selling it for much more than asking because of the bidding process, and everyone want to get into a house and there's no enough supply. So we are trying to make sure that there is supply, because if there is supply, why should I go and add more money on a house when I have another house which could be close, could be as good, and in the same price range, right?
No, this is very, very important because we have a bidding war. So because we have shortage of supply, people want to stay there, and based on the statistic that I shared in last my episode, people are moving away from the big city toward 905 and beyond Mississauga and Milton and Oakville because they can have a larger home. They sell their home from GTA and they can make a condo, and they can buy it a bigger home because they're starting a family and they need a space for kids to play in the backyard. So this thing, one thing that I have noticed, that the federal government and provincial government is providing financial support to municipality to help improve any municipality that's help improve implement more housing for the project in their respective cities. There are funding programs. So can you tell us how much funding that Ontario government is giving to municipalities? Any budget or any amount for this
I
year?
don't have the exact number, but put it this way: we put the budget. We are putting the budget currently. The budget will be announced on 30th of April, so
Okay.
we will know the numbers. And as you know, we have election in 40 days from today. So there, hopefully, if we are gonna continue, then it's gonna continue to the line we are going on. If a new government comes, they might have a different approach. They might put us back and say, you know what, like we are not going to do this, we're not going to do that, and we are going to back to the square one with this vicious circle of housing and houses prices. And again, like I think we covered all the recommendations came out of this committee, housing committee, in our jurisdiction or capacity. There's some stuff which is, again, the federal government now is putting interest rate, jacking the interest rate 0.5, and there's expectation of another 0.5 by June. So with interest rates are going high, I think now we need more than ever more programs from the federal side to help the first time buyers, because with this escalation of the interest rate, it will be very preventive for young families to buy, because now the mortgage is going to be very high with the prices of the houses. As we know, like in Mississauga, you can't get even a semi now less than 1 million. So a small family wouldn't even be able to afford the monthly payments without some support from the government, not even the down payment on staying. It's
Yeah,
going to
no,
be
the
affordable.
cost of affordability, condominium is almost, it doesn't talk about the size, but the average condominium is over 800,000 in Mississauga. Semi is 1.2 million and up, and detached home is 1.5 and up. Even is a one bedroom, two bedroom, or single garage or double garage. It's just an average that you can buy anything more than or less than a 1.5 million if you're looking into a detached home. In fact, some semi sold for 1.5 in Mississauga.
Mm-hmm.
So the cost have escalated because this is all a COVID effect: shortage of supply, shortage of material, shortage of skilled labor. So, is there any skill program where the builders can bring in any employees under any Ontario program, because there is a shortage of labor also that's going to impact the recovery process for the builder, because
Yeah.
we want to produce more housing.
Yes, we did. We did many programs. Minister Monty McNaughton did actually a group of bills to help that. First of all, we are revamping the trades industry, making it much easier to get in the industry. We put $1.1 billion to add to the program, trades programs, to give them hands-on so that they are quicker to get to the market, go to market. We also did Bill 88, which is domestic skilled workers movement mobility, which means anybody have a license in any jurisdiction in Canada should be able to exchange that directly with a license in Ontario, which means Ontario will be accepting any skilled workers having a license in any other jurisdiction in Canada, which means some more skilled workers will come to Ontario to help us in the building industry and getting more houses built much quicker.
Viewers, you are watching Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment, and we have Honorable MPP Sharif Sabawi. He's explaining the Ontario Affordability Housing Initiative by the current government. As you know, the election is on June 2nd, and the government has taken some initiative, and we're sharing those viewers with you. We're going to be taking a short break, and we'll come back and continue our conversation. So we'll see you in short break. Thank you.
So, now it's fully renovated. Live catering, barbecue, tandoor, जलेबियाँ और fresh naan. तकरीब आपके घर में हो या घर से बाहर, Zoc is providing full service now, and Zoc has opened a new banquet hall, garden event center. आपका Zoc देखकर लोग कहेंगे क्या Zoc है आपका? Call right now 905-625-7786. Zoc वालों के लिए.
इस रमजान मुबारक में प्रोग्राम ज़ेरो ज़बर मगर एक नए अंदाज में एक बहुत ही ग्रैंड और शानदार बच्चों के लिए इस्लामिक क्विज।
सवाल जवाब की तैयारी हो गई। कुरान पाक में कितनी आयत है? 6666। आपका जवाब दुरुस्त है।
इन सब की तैयारी तो हो गई, तो क्या आप भी तैयार हैं? ये जानने के लिए कि कौन होता है ज़ेर और कौन होता है ज़बर,
सिर्फ आवाज एंटरटेनमेंट पर। सियासत से तिजारत तक,
सबसे पहले घबराना नहीं,
तालीम से मईशत तक,
आपके जेब पे डाका डालना जानते हैं,
सेहत से सनत तक,
तो चोर घर में आ चुका है जनाब स्पीकर।
हुकूमती ऐवानों से चाय खानों तक कोई नहीं बच पाएगा तकरार से। कौन, कब, कैसे, क्यों जैसे सवाल बनते हैं मौजू प्रोग्राम तकरार में। देखते रहिए तकरार कनाडा से बराह रास्त समीना जबीन के साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे सिर्फ आवाज एंटरटेनमेंट पर।
दूर रहकर भी जो पास होते हैं वो रिश्ते बहुत खास होते हैं। अपनों की याद इनको भी आती है। रमजान यहाँ भी वही बरकतें लाता है। चांद रात पर ये भी खूब खुशियां मनाते हैं। मेहंदी, चूड़ियां यहाँ भी आते हैं। अपने वतन की खुशबू से जो दूर हैं यारो, दुआ है उनका हर दिन खुशियों से भरपूर हो यारो। वतन से दूर भी वतन के पास। J-Dot.
Sacred Hand Canada is helping communities more than a decade.
Here is our food bank, one of the most important aspects of our organization. Here is where we provide our clients with the highest quality produce, meat, and dairy products to suit their needs.
Here at Sacred Hand Canada, we provide more than 125 hot meals per day to individuals who cannot afford it. This includes seniors, international students, and people in general who cannot cook for themselves.
Here at Sacred Hand Canada, we provide free clothing and household items to newcomers, refugees, and those in need. This is our way of helping the environment by recycling, reusing, and giving back to the community.
Here at Sacred Hand Canada, we believe every child deserves an education. This is why we started the free tutoring program from kindergarten to grade 8.
So this is the community room. This is a room where we run all of our programs here at Sacred Hand Canada. So I can use this room as an escape to escape from whatever they're dealing with.
So here at Sacred Hand Canada, we provide deliveries for our clients. This is an extension of our food bank for our clients who are unable to have transportation to come to our office.
Your generous donation will help us to reach many more to support for the food, shelters, and medical. Please donate generously. Visit our location,
5004 Timberley Boulevard, Unit 2629. You can reach us by calling 905-624-0333. If you have any need or any help, do not hesitate to contact us. We'll be more than happy to help you.
आवाज एंटरटेनमेंट आपके लिए लेकर आया है शानदार रमजान ट्रांसमिशन। देखिए ज़ेरो ज़बर इफ्तार से पहले और ए ईमान वालों इफ्तार के बाद, अंधेरे से उजाले की तरफ सहरी से पहले, और आए नमाज सीखें सहरी के बाद, तो मनाएं रमजान हमारे साथ सिर्फ और सिर्फ आवाज एंटरटेनमेंट पर। This Ramadan transmission is brought to you by Galito's Chicken.
Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada, around the world. My name is Tahir Rechie. I have a great honor that a member of Rechie Parliament, Sharif Sabawi, with us talking about Ontario affordable housing initiatives. So thank you very much for your joining us. We're going to talk about this first-time home buyer land transfer tax, and Ontario government has increased it from 2 to 4,000. Do you know why? What was the reason about it?
Yes, when you buy when you are buying first time, majority of people think that the price they bought for the house, they paid for the house is the money needed, and when they get closer to the closing, they discover a lot of extras here and there, which can sometimes become an issue because you already stretch it very much to put the down payment, and then all of a sudden land transfer tax and closing fees and this and that. So the government is trying to help the people who are first-time buyers. Sometimes they don't know. Sometimes they got surprised with extra fees they didn't expect. So I think that was good idea to put there to help the people who will get surprised at the first time that they are asked to pay more money they don't know about.
Oh, wonderful. Now, viewers, if you are a first-time home buyer and you have a minimum 5% down payment, the Canadian Mortgage Housing Corporation have an equity sharing program. And if you are buying you're a first-time home buyer, you're buying from the builder a new home, you can get up to 10% as the money. They will be equity sharing with you. You don't pay interest. Let's say you have 10,000 and they will give you 10,000. And that amount, you have a limitation. There is a threshold. I believe the family income has to be 121,000. It could have been increased a little bit. So they will invest, they give you the balance of the money. If you are buying a resale, let's say 5% you put down, they will give you 5%. So it becomes a 10%. And let's assume you signed up for the mortgage for the amortization for 25 years. And after amortization, maturity, or you sell the property sooner, you will be paying back the loan that you borrowed. Let's assume it was $1 million is allowed under the CMHC high ratio mortgage. So if you got 50,000, and then when you sold it, it was 1.3, and therefore you will be giving 5% of 1.3 million. So you have not paid any interest, but the government will become your partner, equity partner, by lending you money without interest. But they will earn it when you sell it, or when you pay off the loan, and then you give money back to the Canadian based on the appraised value at that time. So there are good programs that you can look at by visiting CMHC. You can do that. And also, federal government has an input tax credit. You can go up to 5,000. They also now announce a new program up to 40,000 TFSA RSP account without paying tax. You can use that toward buy the home. So this is very important. If you are a first-time buyer, I'm a broker of record for City Pro Realty. Please call me 416-451-3489 so we can educate you about how you can do that, because right now interest rates are rising. We have already 3 increases, and the more will be coming, and hopefully that you will be able to qualify. And this is the biggest challenge. Is there any initiative from the Ontario government to support any buyer directly other than a land transfer tax?
So as you said, Tahir, there is a set of tools, multiple tools coming from the federal government, from the provincial government, from your savings, maybe the linking that to the banking system, the TSFA, the RSB, and all this is because there's no one size fits all. Every single buyer is a different case, and that's why you need to work with somebody who knows all the tools available and can build your case, and using the best tool suits your case. So if you have already some accumulative numbers of our money in the RSB, it might make sense to pull from RSB into first new home buyer. And by the way, I used that RSB withdrawal for first new home buyer 25 years ago when I bought my first house. So I have some accumulation of my RSB, and I pulled that and put it into my newly bought home. And I think it took 20 years to pay off that. Every year they give you like a payment of for RSB to cover for that until you put back the money you withdrawn from your RSB. So again, as I mentioned, like it's multiple tools, and you need somebody expert like Tahir or somebody who can look into the whole portfolio and tell you, I think for your case, we can take some from this, we can take some from this, we can save in here, we can save in there, and get you in a house like ASAP. And I think this is a whole mint of that. We need to make sure that everybody get into his first home, because as soon as he become into the system, even if the pricing gone up, his current home already price gone up too. So he's already in the escalator kind of thing. So as soon as he is in the system, if even the pricing gone up, he already have something in hand. He will sell that, buy that. So it will equilibrium that going up in the pricing. But the people who are really very much affected of the high housing rate prices is the people who don't currently own a house. So that's what we are trying to help them to be home owners. So that's why we are helping first home buyer to get his first home.
Viewers, recently Real Estate Council of Ontario, which is the regulator that govern real estate profession in the province of Ontario on behalf of the Ontario government, they are changing the name of Real Estate Business Broker Act to Trust in Real Estate Services Act of 2002. They're going to rename that. And there's some changes coming because what's going on in real estate and how people feel build more consumer trust. It give more power to Real Estate Council of Ontario for disciplinary action that they take, and they're improving also consumer trust. So make sure they're removing some barrier to open offers will be removed. So there are many changes coming to the real estate profession, and I recommend and suggest to all of you to visit RECO, reco.on.ca. Doesn't matter whether you are a consumer or real estate profession, and look for this change. These all changes should be effective in 2023, April 1st, 2023. So please visit reco.on.ca to apprise yourself what's going on in real estate profession, because regulator, Real Estate Council of Ontario is a regulator that act on behalf of the Ontario government. So our MPP, Sharif Sabawi, is a provincial member of provincial parliament, and he represents the government. So he has given you some thought about what's going on. If you have any specific question, please feel free to give me a call. I will connect you to our MPP. And also, I take this opportunity to thank MPP Shri Sabawi for joining us and giving you a prestigious time to participate. If you want to leave your phone number or contact information or give a general message before we end the program, so please go ahead.
I want to wish everyone a happy and prosper and joyful summer. I know that we are about 10 days left in Ramadan, so we are very quickly going towards Eid. So Eid Mubarak for everyone. I hope you had a blessed, joyful Ramadan. Ramadan is a good time where lots of gatherings, lots of iftars, suhoors, and time to meet with families and friends who sometimes we don't have the opportunity because of the workload and everything, where everyone is running in every direction, so we don't see each other. Ramadan would be a nice opportunity to slow down a little bit and meet with people and go with the family and have some family time. And of course, in Eid, I wish all of you to enjoy your time. We are approaching a very nice summer after the COVID. Everything is open. Try to enjoy your time. Try to enjoy the weather, because we lost that opportunity for 2.5 years. All of us looking forward to be out. All of us looking forward to meet people face to face. See you all as we used to in every summer before. Festivities, celebrations, barbecues, and everything. And please let me know. I would love to be there.
Thank you very much. I take this opportunity to thank you and wish you luck in your election June 2nd this year.
Thank you.
I know our MPP for a long time. We're a good friend. I thank you for your time. I really appreciate that. Viewers, if you have any question regarding today's program, it will be uploaded to realtycoffeetalk.com, and you can subscribe and also view many other episodes of Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. Thank you for watching. If you are a professional involved with real estate, buying and selling, developer, builder, mortgage agent, real estate agent, or painter, plumber, a lawyer involved with real estate, please contact Ms. Jabeen, the managing director of Awaz Entertainment. She has a special package for you because you are a viewer of Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada, around the world. So you can call 647-484-0018 and get the special discount. We'll see you next Thursday at 6 p.m. because Ramadan, our time is changed. So may God bless you all. May God bless Canada. Thank you very much for watching. See you next Thursday at 6 p.m. Bye for now.